Okay, welcome back. I'm going to explain a couple of more things with the keyboard interaction things here. So you can, if you look at this part, you might have some kind of node that you didn't see before, which is change, flip-flop, and switch. So I'm going to explain each node, and then I'm going to explain why I use this particular mode to reset the view, to create the reset view. Okay, first the change. Change is, I'm going to select this one and press the F1 key to the help file. Change is, there is an input pin here. So anytime input change, they will give the bang signal. So you can get that. Anytime the input is changed, you can see that instantly it gives the bang. Okay, that is the change. So sometimes change is sometimes important, so sometimes it's very useful to increase the number, and also change is very good for random node. Okay, and the flip-flops. Okay, select one and FP for the help file. So flip-flop is a small data container. So which is, when they have the signal on off, they contain this on signal until they reset. So for example here, if you press this bang, they tossing to the on signal, which is the number 1. They contain this information until I press these buttons. Okay, so bang, contains, and reset. So it's cleaned up actually. Okay, that is the flip-flops. And the switch is quite useful and very open use. So switch is, select one, I'm gonna press the F1 key to the help file. Switch is actually the switching between these input pins. So this first pin indicates which input is come out this output. So they starting from the 0, 1, 2. So if you see that, if I change the input pin number like 2, you can see 2 is come up this one, and 1 is come this one, and 0 is come this one. Yep. So that is a switch. And switch also has couple of different data type. So value, string, color, and node. So you have to use the different node for different data type. Okay. So and also, if you press if you select the switch node and Control I, you can have the inspector window, and the second parameter, the input count, you can actually change how many input pins you can get. So by changing this number, so double click with right click or left click, and then you can change the, for example, the 5, and then you can see that couple more pin is come out here. Okay, so you can produce new if you provide new input value, and also that switch that first pin, which is which input is going to there, the input pin number is going to be the increase as well. So now if I connecting here 5, and this one is 12, you can see that. Okay. So if you input pin 4, you can see the 12 is coming up, and this input pin 4 actually indicating they start even though they input 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the switch number to select is starting from the 0. Okay, so don't confuse, they're starting from the 0. So for example, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, in this case, 1, switch number 1 is indicating this one, switch number 0 indicating this one, switch number 1 is indicating input 2, switch number 2 input indicating input 3, switch number 3 indicating input 4, and the switch number 4 indicating input 5. Okay, so if I change this with switch number 3, so that will input 4 comes out as the result. Okay, that is a switch. Switch is so really important. You know, I use the many different way, and also I think it's someone who used the POB that will use the switch a lot of case. So you have to be remember. So don't forget, don't save as a helper. Okay. So in this scenario, when I press the R button, okay, I'm gonna open this one. So if I press the R button, that is a reset. So I'm gonna give the bang this signal to these flip-flops. Okay, so flip-flop is containing actually on signal. So on signal going to there, and they select second value. So second value comes out there and change the scale. So same things happen here. So when you want to the zoom in the middle, you need to provide the 0 0 as a starting point. So that means the control the center point of the camera. So if your flip-flop is on, you're tossing this information to the transform, and also for the scale, you transform this information to there. Then you might wonder why I have to choose, connecting the change into these selected ID numbers, because whether you want to left and right button and up and down buttons, they have to go back to the zoom in version like this. For example, if I press the R, it's a reset, but whenever I press the left and right arrow button, they have to be used this switch one. So which means the flip-flop have to be the 0. So in order to check that, one way we have to connecting this pin into the switch, into the flip-flop reset, because if you want to tossing this information, the on flip-flop have to be reset, right? So we have the too many case, left and right, and left and right, the two different case. But luckily we have the counter here. So anytime you want to focus on each one of these contents, that means that count number is always be changed. So when they change, I give the bang, which is the reset, this one. So by the reset, it's become the 0. So by 0, through the switch, I tossing input 1 to the scale. Same things here. So selecting the ID numbers, and then I'm tossing this one here. Okay, so this is correcting things. If you're chasing this line, you can see that some XY value is here, and this one is 0 and 0, so it's gonna be the center point of that. Okay, so it's I think you will understand if you heard listen twice in the class and now as well. So, and one more thing, you know, the BG and the line. So if you look at the BG, they have some kind of linking effect, and the width, some kind of, you know, the grid shapes. So a grid arrangement, which means, you know, the row and column as well, like this. So if you open up this BG one, you might now is familiar with grid segment, and also we have another thing is called cross. So if you click that cross and press the help file, so it's it actually creates some kind of, you know, the grid arrangement. So if you provide 3 columns or 5 these different columns and 3 different rows, they can create such a something like, you know, the grid array, the array of the object in the grid, like this. Okay, so this case I had a 40 difference, you know, arrangement. So like if I you know, the 40 difference, you know, the grid segment in the row, in the column and the row, they have the 40 different one. And also if you think about, if you remember that okay, in the cross, so if you look at this cross node, the first x and y, that means if you provide this number with x 1 2 3 4 5 and this number 1 2 3 4 5 the y, the cross node automatically fill with this list of things as well. And one thing you have to remember is the whole object count. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 is all 15. So the overall number of the object is always another same as the multiple with these two numbers. Yes, so it's gonna be the very obvious, but it's very important. So if you wanted to provide, if you wanted to give, you know, the different size of each one, each individual things, you have to create, at this case, you know, the 15 different size. Otherwise, it's gonna be the repeat things. Okay, so let's go back to the, you know, the patch. So this is BG1, the BG patch, which is, you know, here. This is BG patch. So we have the 40 by the 40. So overall count of the object is 1600. So 1600, you know, the dots, actually the, you know, the grid segment object in here. Okay, so we need to if you wanted to have the all grid all the, you know, the grid segment object has the different size, you have to provide 1600 different size. That's correct? Yes, I think so. And then we can use, you know, the dimmer to smooth transition between the small and big. And one thing I wanted to add a little bit more about this one is, at the moment, you know, that they have the always the same time to blinking. What if you wanted to provide a different time to blinking? Okay, so here is the way we can do. So now at the moment, you know, every time they're blinking together, but if you provide a different time period for the area 4, that will create a different time to blink. So I'm gonna create random spread So it's by default random spread, and this count mean is if you mouse over this output pin, in the parentheses 1600 is count or slice count of these outputs. So count node actually counting that count numbers and then giving it as the value. So we can use this value to another pin. Okay, so I'm gonna create this one to here. So I'm gonna have the 1600 different random value, and if you click and also random spread, they create minus value and plus value as well. But if you want to connecting this one to the LFO, they have to be positive value as well. So the POB there is some node called the ABS, which is every negative number is coming up, they automatically turn into the the positive numbers. So for example, the -2 is when you pass this node, it's become 2. All right. So I'm gonna connecting this one to there and connecting this one to the LFO. Ooh. Okay, so if you want to have different, the time durations, how we can do that? So one thing you have to remember that is something you need to really be careful with this logic. So at the moment, this spread count, which creating some kind of the different scales of this each dot has the 1600. So if you wanted to provide the different time durations, you need to change this one at the moment first, one, and then you need to provide these informations, so which is the 1600 different time duration directly to this one. Okay, so if you do not change this one, to 1600 to 1, okay, your system will be down. So don't forget, this one have to be 1. Okay, and then by providing 1600 different time durations, that will create 1600 different value for this scale of the dots. Okay. Okay, one last things we have to do is my line ones. So if you open up, we have the node called my line. Okay, so this one I'm particularly open up another Windows one. I'm gonna provide these examples to you as well. Okay, so I'm gonna upload this one as well for you guys, and then if you select the primitive shapes, Okay, so there is some very good showcase to how you can use the line. So if you look at the line node, 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth of the output pin, the input pin, the name is a single input. So if you check the 0 mean is off, if you check the 1 is on. So single, when you select the single output off, you must provide from and to information, and also the line ones you have to use the 3D vector, okay, which means you need x, y, z. So if you don't have the z value, just leave as the 0, that's fine, okay, completely fine. And then if you look at this one, if you change x, y value positions, you can see that they are creating another lines. But if you select the single output 1, which means on, you have to provide continuously information to draw the line. So if you look at that here, vertex point x, y, z, that is for the single line input. And if you look at the bin size -1, it means draw everything you want to draw. Okay, so don't forget, if you wanted to create some kind of the continuous line, you must select single output 1 and use the one single data. Okay, couple of other things with this primitive shape patches. If you're scrolling down, there are a couple of interesting things we can use. So I'm going to show this one, the week 3 Monday. So don't worry about this kind of things, but it's cool stuff there. So you can use that things. So we can see how we can draw this one and how we can draw this one. So they have the little bit particular way we can use the draw such as shapes. Okay. Okay, so line things. This pin is a single line input. I check the on, and I'll provide this one as the continuous information. So in this one, so if you want to draw the continuous line, I'm gonna draw that line. Okay, so for doing that, I'm gonna put the group. So group node, and I'm gonna connecting this one to there, and then I'm gonna connecting this one, and then I'm gonna add the line segment line, and check the single line input 1, and vector 3D joint. So you need to provide this value and this value and this value to the vertex XYZ. Okay, and then now you can connecting this one to that. So you can't see this one because it's kind of rendering problem things, but alright, so you can see that line that, so you can see the line now. Okay, it's very easy. Okay. So if you compare this one, okay, so and then I need connecting this one to the reset value as well. So I'm gonna create another keyboard matches, and then okay, delete this one, and then I'm gonna all. So all is a reset, so we need flip-flop, if you remember that. Okay, so flip-flop and switch value. Okay, so if this one is R is on, they're going to do this one. So I'm gonna change this value is -3, and then connecting this value to there, and I'm gonna connecting this one value here. Okay, so if I press R, you can see that, yeah, okay, so it needs to be smaller than that. Okay, and also if you're doing only this one, and also once I set that this counter change animations, so if you click link this one to the, anytime you press the left to right button, the flip-flop is reset. So if you're doing that, it's reset, and the R is zoom in. But still has a problem with that, because you know we didn't change the center point for the reset. So I'm gonna use the switch another here. Okay, so this value, okay, this value is going there, and this value is going here, and we're gonna use that some switch one. Okay, switch one, no, the flip-flop value here. So if you note, they're going to, okay, so vector joint center point and 0 0. So once you press the reset, they're going to provide this value in uniform scale and this value in transform. So center point is being changed in the middle, and the scale for this viewpoint going to be 0.9. So now, but anytime you want to anytime you press the left and right arrow buttons, they will, you know, move back to the normal scenes like this. Okay, and zoom in, zoom out, and if you press R, they will, you know, continuously return to the back. And we didn't put any smooth here, so if I put the smooth damper and they're connecting that, they will, you know, zoom in, zoom out smoothly. So zoom, so left and all, so zoom in like smoothly. Okay, so now it's very good things to happen. Okay, so one last thing, if you look at this, it's quite messy, and if you in compared to this one is quite, you know, they seem to be organized, things like that. So I'm going to show you how we can quickly organize that things with them. So I'm going to create new folder just to testing. So go back to the desktop, to my case. Okay, but it can be different in your computer. Okay, so test, and then open up. So I'm gonna save this one into the test folder. So go back to the desktop and test. Come on, computer. Okay, so this called the main. name, layout. Okay, and save that. I'll reload. Okay, so now I'm gonna turn a couple of parts as the sub patch. So if you want to make the sub patch, you can create the control P and create a new one, and also the save into the new folder. But if you press the control shift and P, they will automatically create some kind of sub patch icons here. So, and then you can save this one into, for example, keyboard interaction. Okay, and what I have to do is I'm gonna copy this bit first things. Okay, I'm gonna copy this one, and then make sure which pin is going to be out. So change the out pin on change, and this number, index number, need to be out, so you can create another one. So set middle pause, and then you can select, open up the window, you can change the name, selected ID. Okay, and then this this one is going to be the zoom in, zoom out value. So, and then zoom in, zoom out value, zoom in, out. So once you create that, you can see that the pin is automatically created. Okay, what else? So flip-flops. Okay, this is out, so I'm gonna create this one as this is a reset key. Okay, reset key here. So reset key is going to there, and changes on changes is going to there, and zoom information is going to there. So I'm gonna connecting this one. So key, flip-flop. Okay, so that's the things. I think so move this one a little bit higher, otherwise it's gonna be confused with that. I'm connecting this one to this pin, and on change selected ID numbers, we're going to there, and then we need to go there as well. Selected ID, and on change we're gonna flip-flop reset. What else? Yeah, the zoom in, zoom out, going to there. Okay, and then I'm gonna clean it up, this one first, and move this one to there. So move this one instead. So I'm gonna hide this one a little bit, and I need to clean it up. So I'm gonna select every line and Control Y. Okay, so now is very is tight, and I think that is a better way to content controlling all the contents. So you can see that now this part is there, so every time you change it here, they automatically automatically updating the pin, so pin output is going out to something like that. So you can change this one as well. So I'm gonna change this one as well. So whatever you want to make the sub patch, just remember that remember that is if you Control P, and then you can see that automatically they create the sub-patchy relationships, and then just copy that things and paste into there. This is gonna be input. Okay, so every things you want to create the pin like this, you need to provide the name. So I'm gonna provide the name, output, and this one X, and this one Y. Okay. And save this one to see that they automatically show the main folder you need to save, and then give some indicate to my lines. Okay, and then save, and then control on alt3 hidden. So now you can drag in here and connecting this one, and if you're connecting this bit and this bit, then you can delete this all bits. Okay, see that? So now it has the sub-patchy here. Okay, so I think that's it. So if you select ID and zoom in, zoom out, okay, and the reset, so we can finish that things. So now the next week we're gonna have a look like our content, how we can create the content. I hopefully you guys understand how we can make the setup these things. Thank you.